One would naturally expect your plays to have foreign locales. Why don't they?
Well, apparently you haven't seen all of my plays as you pretend, Mr. Prentice. At least half my plays have foreign backgrounds.
Oh, I know that, Mrs. Saunders. I mean, your important plays.
Well, I like to think of all my plays as being important.
Well, one could hardly argue that point with Geraldine Weston Saunders, one of America's foremost playwrights. You know, Miss Saunders, I've been a fan of yours ever since I saw your first...
Oh, now, look, I just hit the air. Can't I wait an hour till we're off? They said now.
At least twice. I think your strong characterizations, which are...
All right. I'll try to work something out. Give this to Prentice, will you, please?
I was a little surprised to find you here in Los Angeles. Don't you have a play on its out-of-town tryout?
Yes, but I'm a mother and wife as well as a playwright, and I do have responsibilities to my family.
Thank you, Mrs. Saunders. I know that we've taken a lot of your valuable time, and we're sorry that your visit will be longer. Perhaps we'll have better luck next time. And now to Mr. Harold Foster. Mr. Foster, tell us, if you will, what is it that makes you a member of the avant-garde, or the so-called new school of writing?
Mrs. Saunders?
Yes, please.
There's been an accident, a bad one.
Your note said that. How's my husband? Is he badly hurt?
Well, it's worse than that, ma'am. Your husband's dead.
Good Lord. No. Please, take me to him quickly.
Saunders? Why don't we go in here? You all right, Jerry?
Yes, Jack.
Sit down.
No, I'll be all right.
This is Sergeant Anderson. He's...
Have you determined yet how it happened?
Well, apparently he slipped and fell in the tub. Struck his head and drowned. Your husband's partner found him.
I came by to pick him up. When he wasn't ready, I went in the bedroom to hurry him along. Heard the water running in the bathtub, so I called him a couple of times. When he didn't answer, I guessed it was on account of the water, so I sat down and read a magazine while Mark drowned.
Mr. Felton called us.
I'm sorry.
Don't talk now, Jerry. You don't have to. Sergeant, if you don't need me anymore, I'll get down to the office. I'll have a lot of work to do.
I'll send an officer with you, Mr. Felton. I'm afraid we'll have to put a lock on Mr. Saunders' desk and personal files until we've had a good look at them.
Certainly. Jerry, if there's anything at all, you tell me. Sergeant?
How long ago did it happen?
We were called at 13 minutes after 10. We called the Brentwood stables, asked them to find your daughter. They told us she was still on the bridle path. I think you'd better drink this.
No, I'm right.
Well, anyone else I can call? Friend, doctor? Saunders?
Mrs. Saunders? I'm sorry. I must ask you to make the official identification.
That's my husband, Mark Leighton Saunders.
Oh, Mother, it's not true.
Yes, dear, it is.
Oh, Mother.
Come along, dear. Come
Mrs. Saunders, is there anything else we can do?
No. Thank you for your kindness.
We'll leave the man outside.
You'll see that you won't be bothered.
This is Geraldine Saunders speaking. I'd like to talk to John Egan, please.
But, Nick, the coroner's office asked that the post-mortem report deal with 3 specific areas: heart, head, and lungs.
Yeah, well, what about your finding?
There's no question about it. Saunders died from drowning.
The wound on the head, could that have been caused by a blow?
Of course it was caused by a blow.
I mean, delivered by a human being?
I wasn't a witness, Nick. Now, the X-rays of the fracture of the cranium show it to be mushroom-shaped. It's round at one end and then straight for 3 or 4 inches. It's 1 inch deep and roundly indented.
Any matching marks in the rim of the tub?
Not on triple-fired porcelain over which hot water's been spilling for an hour.
You have any way of determining whether the Saunders guy suffered from a heart attack?
Well, not specifically. But there is some evidence that he might have had a slight cardiac condition.
Some. Might. If. Can't you be more definite than that, Doc? I mean, was there a blow or wasn't there a blow?
The actual cause of death was drowning.
Or was there any kind of mark on the heel or the foot to show that he slipped?
No. There was a bruise on his hip. He could have got that when he fell.
Well, what made him fall, Doc?
Gravity. Or maybe it was that cardiac condition. Outside of that, the only thing I found was a flush in the skin and a retardation of rigor mortis. The hot water caused that. That makes it almost impossible to approximate the time of death, which is tough enough to do under normal conditions.
All right, let's get back to the fracture.
Well, it's on the left side of the skull and just forward of center.
Left side. About here, would you say that?
You got the weapon, Nick?
Not yet. But maybe soon, Doc. Maybe soon. Thanks a lot.
You know, I've known that guy for years, and I still can't figure out how he can sniff out an irregularity.
Did you ever hear of the long arm of the law, Doc? Well, it's really a long nose.
Calling you to take charge was just an excuse. I need you as a friend.
I know. I am your friend, Jerry. I'm sorry I didn't get to know Mark better. And I wish I could do more for you now. How's Edith?
She's all right. Poor child. I haven't given her an easy life.
I know a lot of people who disagree with that. Beautiful home, finest schools, and a very talented and successful mother.
Unfortunately, my talent isn't maternal. Edith would tell you that.
How did she get along with Mark?
Polite. Even respectful. Remember, Mark wasn't her father, and she loved Chet very much.
And she resents you for divorcing.
I demoted him from a father to a business associate. Edith can't quite accept that.
Hello, Bridget.
Oh, Mr. Hayes, I am surprised.
Oh, Daddy! Daddy! Oh, Daddy, why didn't you tell me you were coming?
Easy, baby. Easy now. The play's doing all right, and your mother's in trouble. I thought I'd fly out to see if I could help. Where is she?
She's in a room with her lawyer.
I'd better go to her. Button your blouse, dear. You're too young for Camille and too old for Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm.
Come in.
Jerry,
Chet.
I came as soon as I heard.
Oh, thank you, Chet. I want you to meet John Egan, Chet Hayes, my Edith's father.
How do you do, Mr. Egan? Mr. Hayes?
Chet, the play.
Now, it's doing all right, Jerry. There's only a little polish necessary before we open in New Haven. Now, you're not to worry about a thing. Another 3 weeks, and you'll have a smash hit running on Broadway. I suggest then you take a trip. Get a change.
Not in me to run, you know that. Besides, I couldn't leave Edith.
Take her along. Do her good. She could stand spending some time with her mother.
Yes. Yes, I suppose you could.
Well, I'll leave you and Mr. Egan alone. I'm sure you have things to talk about. If you want me, I'll be with you. Mr. Egan. Goodbye, Mr. Hayes. He seems to be a very nice man.
We each worked so hard on our careers, we forgot to work the marriage.
I must confess I was surprised when you remarried.
I wanted very much to be a wife and mother. And then the first time I stumbled over a good idea, I found myself right back at the typewriter again. I can't help it. That's how I am. Promised Mark. So unhappy. Now it's too late. It's too late.
You know, I'd hate to have to mow this lawn.
You've always been lazy.
Oh, will you come in, please? Mrs. Saunders is expecting you. She's in her sitting room.
Thank you.
You mind if I come along with you? I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, not if you don't mind talking in the kitchen.
Oh, how are you, Sergeant?
Fine, thank you. You look much better today.
I am much. Well, what is it you wanted to talk about?
About your husband. Did you know he had a heart condition?
No, I did not.
You didn't? Is he the sort of man to keep that kind of information from you?
You're very intuitive, Mr. Anderson. Mark was a busy and secretive man. Among the things he never discussed with me were his business and his health.
You know a Dr. Frederick Whiting?
Yes. He's a well-known heart specialist.
And you didn't know your husband was a patient of his?
I told you I didn't, Sergeant. I can see where the insurance company would be concerned, but Why are the police investigating this?
Well, we were called in right after the accident. We have to close out the case. Just routine.
I see. Well, wouldn't Dr. Whiting be the man you should talk to?
Oh, I talked to him. You know, doctors, he told me to mind my own business.
Well, I agree with the doctor.
Well, as I told him, this is my business. May I?
Go ahead. My leather-bound monument. You like the theater?
You know I saw some of these.
Trying to get on my good side.
Fire and Ashes. Now, wasn't there a London production of this?
Yes.
I saw it. Waiting for a plane. That's right. It was an extradition case. And this murderer saw it with me. It was a matinee. And we had a tough time with that tea tray. He was handcuffed to me.
What did your prisoner think of it?
Too violent. Mrs. Saunders, how does a man hide a heart condition from the woman with whom he shares the marital relationship?
Oh, I've never dealt with the police before, except in the theater. Must take a special kind of man to be a policeman. Nothing is locked away. Nothing is allowed to rest. They must give you a special course in detachment.
Well, Gilbert and Sullivan said it. The policeman's luck. You know the rest. But we keep consoling ourselves with the thought that maybe we're protecting the innocent, as well as catching the guilty. Nice collection. Oh, wasn't this the cane used by the killer in Fire and Ashes?
That was more than 2 years ago. You have a fantastic inner eye.
Once a cop. Mind if I take it with me?
Well, whatever for?
Well, let's just say I'm trying to convince my boss I spent a busy day at the office. I'll bring it back.
Hi.
Well, hi. I'm Sergeant Kirby. I'm a detective.
Well, you've got sugar on your chin, Sergeant.
Hayes, I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes.
Would you like to come along and ask me some questions? I'm about to take Sarah for a walk. Would you like to go for WALK? Mother spells everything out in front of Sarah. That's all she understands. Did you know that Sarah was named for the great Sarah Bernhardt? And it is even rumored that she's a direct descendant of the divine Sarah's own poodle. I believe this added $500 to the price.
Shouldn't she have a bodyguard?
And I am named for the great Edith Evans. Oh, yes. As you can see, Mother's whole life is the theater.
Surely not all of it.
Ever known a playwright? I mean, really known a playwright?
No, not completely.
Any idea how much time Geraldine spent at home in the last 5 years? I'll tell you. 8 months. And that in bits and pieces. But why, as they say in the confession mags, am I telling you all this? I'll tell you. Because you're a stranger. And strangers listen attentively, smile sympathetically, then get off at the next station, and you never see them again. Besides, now that Mark is dead, I have no one to talk to.
Tell me, did your stepfather have a heart condition?
The policeman on a spur of a clue. Does a broken heart qualify as a heart condition?
Would you say he had a broken heart?
Let me tell you the story of a man who wanted to own beauty, charm, and talent. Who wooed it, won it, then found it belonged to the whole world, and that he couldn't have it for his own. And couldn't get a refund either on his emotional investment. I think that's more than enough for a broken heart, don't you?
Well, I don't usually make judgments on how people live together.
Are you telling me I shouldn't? But then you didn't have to live here and watch it, did you? I did. And I learned something.
What?
I learned from my mother. Not so much what to do, but what not to do.
You know, I have the feeling you're trying to tell me something.
Oh, dear, that's a mistake. Sarah, walk's over. I suppose I should be sad and in mourning. But how do you mourn what was never there? Do you know the story of the man who was going to be executed on a Monday? And as he walked to the gallows, he turned to the guard and asked, "How do you like the way my week starts?" For me, Mr. Policeman, some weeks are all Mondays. Sarah? Thank the nice policeman for joining in our walk. And wag your tail apologetically for not answering any of his questions. Bye.
Why would he want that cane? Just answer me that.
Why ask me, Mother? I don't know. Some people have strange hobbies. Maybe he collects canes.
Oh, Edith, stop it. This is serious.
All right, let's be serious. I don't know why he would want it.
Unless they think it was some sort of a weapon.
Your theatrical mind is working overtime. I expect any minute to see the house lights go up.
Edith.
And hear the brilliant detective explaining his suspicions in typically clever Geraldine Weston Saunders dialogue.
Oh, Edith, please. Why must we always be like this? We were mother and daughter once. Lately, we seem to be more like strangers.
Your daughter's growing up, Mrs. Saunders.
And somehow I feel as though I'm in your way.
I wish you hadn't come home. I wish you stayed in New York with your precious play.
I came home because of Mark.
He didn't need you. He didn't need you at all.
You mean the other women? Yes, I knew about them.
Can you blame him? You spent all your love on your made-up characters. You had 2 husbands and had no time for either one of them.
Edith, don't.
And no time for your daughter either.
Baby, Edith, please. We're alone now. It's just the 2 of us. I need you.
How does it feel, Mother? How does it feel to really need someone?
Well. Hello.
May I come in, Mr. Policeman? Oh, yes. How did you find me, Miss Hayes? Well, Mr. Policeman, I took a page from your own book and became a very smart detective. I checked out all the suspects, looked over all the clues, and then found you in the phone book.
You'll make the sergeant's list in no time.
It's very nice. Will you offer me a drink? I'm 21.
Sure. What'll it be? Scotch? Vodka?
Vodka?
Vodka. Well, are you going to tell me why you're here? Or do I have to work overtime and detect?
Oh, no. You've been working hard enough as it is. Questioning me, questioning Mother, the servants, Jack Felton. In fact, that's why I came. I want to know why you're working so hard.
My job.
Ah, now you sound like Javert from Les Miserables. Blindly you serve the law. Isn't this a long investigation for an accident? Why not let Mark rest peacefully? He had a hard enough time.
I don't think it'll disturb him.
And I'm concerned about my mother. Doesn't help her being reminded all over again every day or so.
You love her very much, don't you?
Mother? Of course.
I mean more than that. I mean, she's a famous playwright, quite a talent.
Yes. Beautiful, charming, talented. That's why Mark married her. Only the talent kept getting between them.
How's that?
You're getting me off the track, Mr. Policeman. You still haven't answered my question.
Well, as the cop says in the movies, I'll ask the questions around here.
Tchaikovsky?
That's right. You like it? Not supposed to be fashionable these days, but I play it when I don't think anybody's watching.
So do I.
None but the lonely heart. A little like you.
It shows, doesn't it?
In your eyes.
What else do you see in my eyes, oh great detective?
Well, I see a very pretty, very sweet young girl who grew up maybe a little too fast. Who would like to be her mother. Who says she hated her stepfather but doesn't act like it. Who seems confused and frightened by what's happening to her.
Just a minute, what are you? A detective or a fortune teller?
I do a little fortune telling on the side.
I'd like you for my friend, Nick.
I'm your friend.
I better go, you're tired. Nick, have you told my mother about Mark's women friends?
Well, I haven't found them all yet.
Well, that's really why I came. I wanted to see if I could talk you out of telling her. A widow doesn't like to hear about her late husband's adventures.
Dan, you meet me at Saunders' office. Of course, this time of night. Sergeant Kirby here yet?
Yeah, he got here just a few minutes ago.
Something funny?
Oh, no. I just look at you and I see myself 15 years ago. You know, I was on the force.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Things better now?
Oh, you ain't just a whooping. I'm making more money. I get vacations with pay. We got a health program. We got a retirement fund and a pension plan.
That's nice.
Sure. What's more, people aren't always jumping out of alleys at me with a knife or taking shots at me just because they're drunk or hopped up. No, sir, I've had it with all that dedicated stuff.
How are you? Got a wife?
Yeah.
Kids?
Yeah.
All right, the next time your wife is mugged or your kid's molested, don't call us. Call the pension fund.
It's open.
Dan? Mr. Felton?
I was just telling Sergeant Kirby here, you're making it tough for me to carry on with Mark's work with all my records impounded. When are you going to leave me a key?
Soon?
Why so late? Don't you fellas ever sleep?
When we can, Mr. Felton. When we can. Why don't you stay in there, keep Sergeant Kirby company? He's seen the office anyway.
Sure. Would you like some more coffee, Sergeant?
Please. Poor Mark. You know, I never thought he'd go out this way. Not that I spend my time trying to figure out how people are going to die. It's just that... Well, did you ever look at a man or woman and say to yourself, I never thought he'd marry a woman like that? You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He was a two-fisted guy. Kind of a guy you'd expect to go out in a construction accident or an automobile, an airplane. Not slipping in a bathtub.
You were pretty good friends with Mark Saunders, weren't you?
Well, Mark Saunders all my life. We started out together. Came up the hard way. But he learned more than I did. Me, I haven't changed. I'm still the same guy. But Mark? Well, you saw his house. Full of charm, elegance. Not that he was a snob, mind you. You peel away the layers of living from him and you'd still find the same kid that played stickball in the schoolyard or would take you to your knees in a football game. When he thought no one was looking, he'd feed the pigeons in the park, as he used to say, just so he could hear them laugh.
Sounds like a happy guy.
Just like any of us. Sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy.
These are some bills and receipts for gifts he bought, girl-type gifts. Apparently, he liked to share his happiness when he was happy.
Man buys some presents for his wife. What's wrong with that?
Well, these were delivered locally. His wife was out of town.
Oh, come on. The man's dead.
I know that.
All right, so he had a few friends. His wife's out of town a lot. A fella gets lonely. You excuse me, I've got a lot of work to do.
I'd like to hear some more about Mark Saunders' loneliness.
Loneliness is loneliness. Why make anything out of that?
Like what?
Like I said, his wife's out of town a lot. A guy gets lonely, so he takes somebody to dinner. Does that make him a bad guy?
Was he in love with his wife?
He loved her very much. He was very happy.
You know what these are, don't you?
Man's wife writes him some letters. So what?
I've read a couple of them. They're not what I would call so what letters.
How long has the trouble between Mark and Geraldine been going on?
Long time. That's why the other women. You know, Mark looked like a rough, tough guy. Kind of a guy that could take on the world and beat it at its own terms. But he wasn't. He was shy and insecure. Kind of a fellow that needs love, success. His need for success is what took him right to the top. His need for love. Geraldine didn't have time for that. Not that I blame her. She has her own work. Do you know what I think? I think people like that shouldn't get married.
Thank you, Mr. Felton.
For what? Telling you a lot about a friend that he didn't know about himself, making him look bad?
The locked drawer?
It's not locked now.
Well, I'll push through the order in the morning to cover our opening.
Yeah, we better knock off now. We're going to have a busy day tomorrow.
Talking to Saunders' girlfriends?
I'll let you talk to a couple of them.
Thank you. What do you think we'll find out?
Maybe we'll find out why Geraldine left her play in such a hurry.
So he said to the accountant, what do you mean I got to give back $300 to the income tax people? Just because I got a divorce? He's still filing a joint return. May I help you, sir?
Yes, I'd like to speak to Miss Barton.
That's her. Over there.
Thank you.
Manicure?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm Sergeant Kirby.
What do you want to talk to me for? My license hasn't expired, has it?
No, I just want to ask you some questions about Mark Saunders.
Mark Saunders, he's dead.
Yes, I know. You went out with him.
Hey, should I get a lawyer or something before I talk to you?
No, this doesn't concern you directly. We just want to find out more about him. Now, according to the department store, a pair of fur-lined slippers were delivered to you and billed to him. Is that right?
Yes. I have cold feet. I don't have to give them back, do I?
No. How often did you go out with him?
Mm-hmm. Every now and then. He wasn't a regular thing. I wish he was. I wish he had been. What a nice guy. A real gentleman. He was always thinking of considerate things he could do for me.
Like your cold feet?
Yes, like my cold feet.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a Miss Banks.
I'm Bobby Banks.
Sergeant Anderson, Los Angeles Police.
Speeding.
No.
Red light?
No.
Stop sign?
No. Mark Saunders, he's dead.
I know, but why the police?
Well, he bought you a chrome tailpipe for your car, didn't he?
Ah, big deal. He got careless with the car one night and cost me a whole rear-end job.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Well, you can add Smith to the list.
Smith?
Anna Jane Smith. She confirms that she provided some distraction for our man. Well, I guess we can turn in the report to Lieutenant Bone. He can take it to the DA's office.
Not yet.
Why not?
We're missing a piece of the puzzle.
Well, we have the dead man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Saunders was found drowned with a suspicious wound on his head. We have the weapon to put the wound there. Are you worried about establishing the fact that she was there?
No. Like she wrote, Fire and Ashes. About a lawyer who got rid of 4 wives and always established an alibi by placing the corpse near a hot fire to slow down rigor mortis.
Check, hot fire, hot water, same thing. Let's see, we have time, place, opportunity, and weapon. We just checked out motive. She was away. She found out that he was cheating on her. She comes back. They have an argument. She grabs the cane, hits him, pushes his head under the water. She's a widow.
We haven't proved the motive yet.
What, with 3 other women in his life?
We know about the women, but did she?
For want of a nail, the battle was lost. Where are we going?
To find the nail.
Willing to give me another chance. I need more than your help, Larry. I need your love.
Cut. Got it.
Harry, I just saw the test. She's very good. I'll try to use her in one of my plays. Right. Hey? Yes. Sorry to bust in on you like this.
Your hotel told us where you were.
Well, is it something urgent? Oh, nothing we have to pull a fire alarm for, but we heard you were leaving town. Yes. I want to get back to my play before the New York opening. Mrs. Saunders getting back to it, too? Yes. I tried to dissuade her, but she insists on going back to work. The play must go on. Yes. Tell me, why did she leave the play in the first place?
That's a bit unusual, isn't it?
Look, I don't understand all of this. Mark Saunders had an accident, but you two don't seem to want to let go. The man's dead. There's no reason to rake up old ashes.
You know, I've been told that by every person today. Now, let's get it straight. I am raking up the ashes. Now, answer the question. Why did she come back?
Because there are other things in her life more important than her play.
I thought her plays were her life.
She's a woman. She has a family. She had a marriage.
Go on, Mr. Hayes. What about her marriage?
She heard there were other women in Mark's life. She came back to see what she could do about it.
Dan, old boy, I think we've got what we came for.
I know what you're thinking, but she didn't. I tell you, she couldn't have.
Couldn't have what, Mr. Hayes?
Made it special. I cook it nothing but burgundy. Wanted for putting out fires. Go ahead, taste it.
Are you sure Mitch hasn't phoned you?
I'm sure. Look, if you didn't want stew, why did you order it?
I'm just not hungry, Jake.
Look, pal, I heard what they're trying to do. And I say they're way off base trying to put Geraldine Saunders on the spot. That's a great lady. They'll never touch it.
Well, they're sure trying. The district attorney's taking a case to the grand jury, alleging the commission of a crime.
That's crazy. Can't you do something?
Not until the grand jury returns an indictment.
The grand jury will return a no bill and call it no case.
You're getting to be quite an attorney, Jake. Let me have my check, huh?
No food, no check. Get out of here, will you? Go to a steam bath and sweat. Do something practical.
John, grand jury just voted an indictment. 2.
Second degree. Well, I feel like a man walking up a gangplank without a boat.
Want me to go with you?
No, I better talk to her alone. Thanks, Jake.
Something wrong with the stew, Jake?
Yeah. Yeah, Mitch, it was simmered in sorrow and spiced with bitterness.
I want it simple, I want it true, and I want it all.
I did not kill Mark Saunders.
The district attorney thinks you did, and so does the grand jury.
They are wrong. His death was an accident.
Jerry, the district attorney has some letters you recently wrote to Mark. He expects to use them in evidence. I have an appointment tomorrow to read them.
Oh, no. Those letters were private. They were written in agony. What right do they have to probe?
What right? Every right. They claim a man was struck on the head and allowed to drown. They've got a right to do anything they want legally to punish the killer.
I am not that person. Can you look at me and say that I'm that person?
Jerry, you're a great playwright. In the theater, you can make 1,000 people believe what they're seeing and hearing on the stage. But can you convince 12 members of a jury the same way?
All right. It's true. I suppose if you want to kill a man, you start by killing his love. I did that. I left him alone. I left my child alone. To put my plays on the stage and wallow in public admiration. I suppose that's a form of murder.
I'm speaking of picking up a weapon and using it.
Your law is very strange, John. It recognizes only visible weapons, but the others can kill, too. You can stab with the edge of neglect. You can cut with the dagger of selfishness. You can choke out a life with absence. To that crime, I plead guilty.
Will you stop talking to me like I'm a member of an audience, Jerry? They want to take that beautiful and talented body of yours and put it behind bars. It's my job to stop them.
His death was an accident, John. But if guilt must be placed, perhaps it is mine.
Stop mixing personal feelings of guilt with his death. The jury's not going to understand that.
How about you? Do you understand it? Or have I convicted myself?
Mother? I heard voices. Is anything wrong?
What do you think, Edith? Am I guilty?
Well, what is this all about?
It seems that my sins of omission have caught up with me. I've been ordered to appear before the bar of justice.
Your mother's been indicted for the murder of your stepfather.
Well, that's it. I'm going to let you turn her over to the prison custodian. Without police, without manacles, no publicity. What more can I do?
You can forget those letters.
Afraid not, John. Now, look, you're not going to try to stop their introduction as evidence, are you?
In every way I can.
Look, Irish, a man was struck down and he's dead. I'm the prosecutor. My job is to try to convict the criminal with all the evidence at my disposal. Let the judge and jury decide if I'm wrong. That's how the law machine works. Pals or no pals, you and I are just two of the small wheels.
Jerry, I don't believe my client did this. Hold off on the trial. Just give me a little more time.
Irish, I can't. The law is clear.
The law, my foot. The law was designed as a shelter, not a trap. Ask yourself something, Mr. Prosecutor. Would you feel the same way about this case if Geraldine Saunders were a plain, ordinary, unknown housewife?
Oh, come on.
Well, would you?
You know I would.
Yeah. I guess you would.
Sure I'm taking the right things. I've never spent any time in jail before.
Jerry, there's something I have to ask you before we leave.
I've sometimes forgotten where make-believe ends and reality begins. I know tonight. I'm ready, John.
All right, Jerry, listen to me. I've gone over the evidence against you. The prosecutor's case will be very convincing.
Mark's death was an accident.
No, Jerry. It was no accident. Someone in that house with opportunity and motive...
Do you believe I'm innocent?
I want to, dear, but you're not helping me.
I can't help you.
All right, then. Help yourself.
I didn't hire you to be a detective. The state must prove I'm guilty. I hired you to prevent that, that's all. They say I killed Mark because I was jealous. I told you what happened. I pleaded with him. I swore that once this play opened, we'd go away together, just the two of us. We were reconciled, John. We were happier at that moment than we've been in a long time.
Well, I hope I can prove that. I'd better take you out the back way.
No, John. They've waited hours for this. It's their job. They've earned their pictures.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Is everything ready?
The court awaits your pleasure, Judge. This is your first big case. State versus Geraldine Saunders.
Well, let's pick a jury.
May I say, Your Honor, that in your face, justice doesn't have to be tempered with mercy. I'm very proud of you, Mildred.
Be proud of both of us, Father.
Professor Antovovardi. Am I pronouncing that correctly, sir?
Indeed you are, sir.
Thank you. May I ask you where you earned your degree?
In the University of Hard Knocks.
I see, sir. Well, have you read anything about this case? Formed an opinion, perhaps?
I do not read the newspapers, sir, nor any other media. I read the face of nature, of the stars, of birds in their flight, of the tides of the sea, and the movement of flocks.
Flocks, Professor? Where do you live?
I, sir, occupy a Spartan cottage on Trancas Beach. And I earn my daily bread as a bird counter. I count and record the flights of migratory birds.
I see. You mean to say, Professor, that if ducks or geese or sparrows were to fly over your Spartan cottage, you'd count them?
Oh, my dear sir. Sparrows do not migrate.
Thank you. I'll try to remember that. Professor, are you aware that this is a trial for the capital crime of murder?
Oh, yes. Yes, I am, sir. And may I say that I am saddened by man's tendency to destroy himself?
You may indeed, Professor.
Thank you, sir.
Peremptory challenge, Your Honor.
You are excused, Professor. You may step down.
Mr. Bassett, I see by your card you're a professional bartender. Has your work made you cynical about the human race?
Oh, no, it's the other way around. I'm more tolerant. I understand people. It's like they say, in vino veritas, truth in wine.
Are you a Latin scholar, sir?
No, that's all the Latin I know, in vino veritas.
Mr. Bassett, do you go to the theater?
Can't. Work nights.
They do have matinees, you know.
I know, but I sleep afternoons.
Thank you, Mr. Bassett. No challenge, Your Honor.
And you feel that you can render an impartial verdict?
Yes, sir, I do.
This juror is acceptable to the people.
Thank you, Mr. Pyle.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Livingston, you are the mother of 4 children?
Yes, sir.
All school age?
Oh, yes.
Would you be hasty about making a decision here because your children are being neglected at home?
Oh, no, Mr. Egan. I think serving on a jury is a very important community function. I'll be here as long as you need me. As for neglecting my children, I never do. I happen to believe it's a woman's first job. I mean, that's what we were put on earth for.
Have you ever worked at a job yourself?
No, I haven't. I stay at home where I belong.
Thank you, Mrs. Livingston. Peremptory challenge.
Juror is excused.
Well, I don't understand. What did I say?
Nothing you need be ashamed of.
And we shall prove that on the morning of April the 16th last, Mrs. Mark Saunders did with rage and passion commit the act of murder on the body of one Mark Leighton Saunders, husband of the defendant, by striking a blow on the side of the head and causing him to take into his lungs sufficient water to cause death by drowning and or asphyxiation. And we shall prove motive, and we shall prove opportunity, and we shall, in final, prove her guilty of the act of murder beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Does defense counsel wish to make an opening statement?
Defense would reserve its opening statement until the conclusion of the state's case, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the state feels its case is unique in that most of its witnesses are hostile.
Is counsel alerting the bench to be aware of hostility? The bench is quite able to recognize it and act accordingly. Call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The preliminary lab report indicated this could have been the murder weapon.
I see, and you took this from the Saunders home?
Yes, sir. I brought it to the lab where a series of tests were performed.
Now, Sergeant, will you tell the court, please, the results of those tests?
Well, they indicated that some dried blood was left in the crevice where the head is fixed to the stick. The blood matched that of the decedent.
I see. Now, Sergeant, may I see that, please?
Yes, sir.
I ask you this. If someone had gone into the bathroom with the intention of striking Mark Saunders, would there have been enough room?
Yes, sir.
And in case that had happened, into what position would the body normally have fallen?
Face down, with the head toward the door, just the way we found it.
Thank you, Sergeant. Cross-examine.
Sergeant Anderson, was that cane easily accessible to anyone in the house? Yes, sir. Thank you. No further questions.
Yes, I've been working there for the last 5 years, ever since Mr. Mark and Miss Geraldine were married. Just like one of the family.
I see. Now, Miss Bridget, on the night of April the 14th, Mrs. Saunders arrived home from the east. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I see. Now, where was Mr. Saunders at that time?
He was at home, dressing to go out.
Dressing to go out? Well, apparently he wasn't expecting her, was he?
No, sir, he wasn't. She usually wired ahead to say when she was arriving. But this time she just popped in.
Popped in, you say?
Yes, sir, from New York.
I see. All right, then, Miss Bridget, tell us exactly what happened after that.
Well, when Mr. Mark saw her, he was very surprised. And, well, they started arguing right away.
Arguing? About what?
About his other friends.
Would you tell the court what you mean by his other friends?
Oh, must I, sir?
Yes, I'm afraid you must.
The court acknowledges your loyalty to your employer, but you must answer the question.
Well, sir, his other friends were his women friends.
I see. Well, how did you know or suspect this?
Objection. The prosecutor's asking for an opinion.
I'll rephrase the question, Your Honor. Now, Miss Bridget, when the defendant was away, did Mr. Saunders make many phone calls?
Yes. I heard him making several dates and things like that. And,
And what?
well, when she was out of town, Mr. Mark wanted me to take every weekend off. Of course, I didn't want to have all that time off. There was nothing for me to do outside. However, he insisted.
Insisted, you say, every weekend off. All right, Miss Bridget, continue, please.
He wanted the house to himself, to entertain his lady friends.
Do you know those lady friends?
No, sir. And I'm glad I don't.
Did the defendant know about them?
No, sir. That's why I wrote to her.
You wrote to her?
Yes, sir. Oh, I know I did wrong. But I knew how much Mr. Mark meant to her. Oh, it's all my fault. And she came home when she did. Oh, it's all my fault that she's in this courtroom today.
Thank you, Miss Bridget. Cross-examine.
Bridget, did Mrs. Saunders love her husband?
Oh, yes. Very much.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Call your next witness, Mr. Miller.
I call Chet Hayes. Now, Mr. Hayes, as a theatrical producer, you produced some of the plays written by the defendant, have you not?
All of them.
Even after you and Mrs. Saunders were divorced?
Our association in the theater was much more successful than our association in marriage. We've been objective enough to keep our personal life from interfering with our work.
Is that so? At the time of Mark Saunders' death, you were engaged in preparing the defendant's new play for production, were you not?
That's right.
Where, may I ask?
We were getting ready for the pre-Broadway opening in New Haven.
And was Mrs. Saunders with you at the time?
Yes.
At the time of Saunders' death?
Well, no, she left a few days before.
Really? Well, now, isn't it customary for a playwright to stay with the play during its formative stages?
Well, yes, ordinarily.
Well, then, why did she leave?
She received a letter. It seemed to upset her.
The letter from the housekeeper?
Yes. Mrs. Saunders said she was going home to...
To what, Mr. Hayes? And in her words, if you please.
To put an end to Mark's philandering.
To put an end to Mark's philandering. Thank you, Mr. Hayes.
Wait a minute. That doesn't mean...
That's all. Thank you. Your witness.
Mr. Hayes, did Mrs. Saunders specify as to how she intended to put an end to her husband's philandering?
No.
Was there any reference to violence, murder?
No, of course not.
Was she angry, indignant?
No. She was upset, worried, disappointed, hurt. If she was angry at all, she was angry at herself for being so far away from her husband.
Then she was actually blaming herself for her husband's infidelity.
Yes, she did.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. No more questions.
You may step down, Mr. Hayes.
Nothing ventured.
No. May it please the court? At this point, the state would like to introduce further evidence. I'm fully aware that the defense counsel has stringent objections, so in the interest of saving time...
Will counsel approach the bench?
Thank you, Your Honor.
What is the evidence?
5 letters, Your Honor, from the defendant to the deceased.
And you object?
I most certainly do, Your Honor.
I will hear you both in chambers. Court is recessed for 5 minutes.
Your Honor, those letters are privileged. They were written by a wife to her husband.
Now, we're walking a very fine line here, gentlemen. Something which might be called post facto pertinence. Did you have access to them?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
How?
Mr. Miller showed them to me.
Well, then you both have knowledge of the contents. Setting legalities aside for the moment, Mr. Egan, what is your objection?
Well, Your Honor, those letters are extremely intimate. They were meant for one person only. If they're read in an open court, mechanically, by a clerk or any disinterested party, they're bound to be misinterpreted.
Mr. Miller?
Your Honor, I don't care who reads those letters, as long as they get read.
Well, in my opinion, they are admissible, and they must be read. Would your client do them justice, Mr. Egan?
My client?
She's certainly not a disinterested party.
She'd have to be sworn in as a witness for the prosecution.
For the express purpose of reading the letters. Either of you gentlemen object to that?
Well, it's up to you, Irish. It could be a little rough on her.
Oh, it'd be a lot rougher the other way.
Unless, of course, she has some objection to reading them.
In view of the circumstances, Your Honor, I don't think she has any choice.
I have long since given up trying to make you understand what it means to be possessed by the strange and cruel affliction people call talent. It is a killer tiger, seeking its victims among those who cannot understand its instinct to destroy. And Mark, you cannot know the torment which comes with the knowledge that I've broken my promise to you. You should have been warned that I would destroy everything you hold dear. All the simple, precious things which the ordinary and fortunate human beings take for granted. Offer me a home, and I will leave it. Give me a child, and I will neglect it. Wrap me in love, and I will tear it to shreds. For the strangely gratifying privilege of putting words on paper, I've traded my soul and given my life. Unless a stronger will prevails, your life will be sacrificed too.
Yes, it is inevitable, Mark, that I will destroy you, but I do not ask or deserve your forgiveness. I am guilty, and I must be punished. That's all, Your Honor. That's the last one. I'm sorry about the letters, Jerry.
I wrote them. I agreed to read them. Can't blame anyone but myself. I deserve everything I get.
You may get a conviction. Do you deserve that? Oh, come on, Jerry. You didn't kill Mark Saunders, and you know it.
I appreciate your faith in me, John.
Well, that's the only thing I've got to work on. You've given me nothing for an adequate defense. No hints, no clues, nothing to even involve another suspect.
I'm the suspect, remember?
Do you want to lose this case?
All right, Counselor. Tell me what you want me to do.
First of all, stop feeling so sorry for yourself.
My sorrow is for the people around me. Look what I've done to them. Do you think Edith would be as bitter and as empty if I'd given her more of my time and my love? Mark. Poor, lonely, unhappy Mark. Looking for love in secret corners. If I'd been something more than an absentee wife, he'd be alive right now.
We've been through all this before. Who could have killed him, Jerry?
He slipped in the tub and fell.
We both heard all the evidence. We know it was no accident. Who are you trying to protect?
Are you out of your mind? I'm hardly the martyr type. Do you think anyone in the world means that much to me?
Yes, I do. Jerry.
Macon. Mark's death was an accident. Do you understand? An accident.
Your Honor, we call Miss Edith Hayes.
Miss Edith Hayes.
Why must they do this to her? It isn't fair.
We can't stop it, dear.
Now, Miss Hayes, you're the daughter of the defendant by a previous marriage, are you not?
Yes. My father is Chet Hayes.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know this is going to be very difficult for you, but you must realize you must answer my questions as fully as you can and to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, I know.
Good. Miss Hayes, were you at home the night your mother arrived in Los Angeles?
Yes.
Well, will you tell us what happened then?
Mother arrived and, well, there was the excitement of saying hello to her, of having her home again.
I see. Tell me, was your stepfather pleased to see her?
I think he was surprised. He had been getting ready to go out.
Oh, and did he go out?
No. Mother said she wanted to talk to him. That's when the quarrel started.
You heard them quarrel?
Yes.
Were you present in the same room at the time that they were quarreling?
No. As soon as it started, I went into my room. But I could still hear them arguing.
Well, tell me this, Miss Hayes. How long did the quarrel last?
I don't know. But the next morning, I heard them still at it. I went into breakfast and then changed into my riding clothes. And the quarrel had grown louder. It seemed a lot more violent.
A lot more violent, huh? Now, Miss Hayes, you mentioned you heard them quarreling, all right? Tell us, please, what were they quarreling about?
Well, Mother was accusing my stepfather of seeing other women while she was out of town.
And did he deny it?
No, he admitted it. It's only made Mother more furious.
Now, Miss Hayes, it was morning. The argument had grown more violent. Your mother had grown more furious. All right, what did you do about this?
Well, there was nothing I could do. I was upset, frightened. I left the house and went riding, hoping it would be over when I returned.
And when you returned?
Well, it was over all right. The police were there, and Mark was dead.
Thank you, Miss Hayes. Your witness.
Miss Hayes, you heard Bridget, the housekeeper, testify that your stepfather sent her away on weekends. Is that true?
Yes. But only when my mother was out of town.
Only when your mother was out of town. The housekeeper was out of the house. Now, why was that? So that your stepfather could entertain his women friends?
Yes.
Were you at home when he was doing his entertaining?
Sometime.
Then you must have met these women.
No, I managed to avoid that. But Mark, my stepfather told me about them.
He was your stepfather, your mother's husband, and he told you about his romantic affairs?
Of course he did. He told me all about that beautician, Lorraine something or other, and that woman named Smith or Smithson, the fashion designer. But Mark didn't take them very seriously.
The court has heard the testimony of Lorraine, someone or another, the beautician, and the Smith woman. Each of them seemed to feel that she was really the woman who mattered.
Well, they weren't.
Ah, but their testimonies were very, very convincing.
They're liars. There was only one woman in Mark's life.
Uh-huh. Your mother.
No.
No. I find that very difficult to believe, Miss Hayes. What other woman could have meant more to him than his own wife?
Me.
That's not true. I know that's not true.
I'm almost 22, you know. Mark and I were very much in love. He was going to ask my mother for a divorce.
A divorce? Did your mother know about that?
He had promised me that he'd tell her when she got home. That may have been why their quarrel became so violent.
Your Honor. Your Honor, I want to confess to the murder of Mark Saunders.
Your Honor, I request an immediate recess. Under the circumstances, I must consult with my client.
I understand, Mr. Egan. The jury will ignore the defendant's statement. Court will recess until 2 p.m.
Geraldine, what do you think you're doing?
I have nothing to say to you, John, nothing.
Well, that's that. No, not quite. I think the third act will need a little rewriting.
Get Edith and bring her into the conference room.
Right.
I've asked my assistant to bring Edith here.
Oh, no, John, no. I don't want to see her, not now.
You really didn't know about her affair with Mark, did you?
No. I didn't know.
I know.
I didn't know.
You didn't have to make that confession, dear.
It was the least I could do. My baby. How could she hate me that much?
Jerry, I know what you're trying to do, and I'm not going to let you.
I would have done anything for your love, Edith, anything.
Isn't it a little late for that now?
All right, Edith. Who murdered Mark Saunders?
She did. You heard her.
That's not true, and you know it isn't.
Edith. Chet, please.
Why? Why are you so eager to incriminate your own mother?
What do you expect? All I ever wanted was her love. She never taught me how to love. That's why it's so easy for me to hate.
She does love you. She just proved that in the courtroom. She's willing to go to prison for the rest of her life. That is love. And all you can do is hate. Will you look at her? You look and see what you've done. I said look at her! You think she should rot in prison for you? Look at her! Edith? Don't you think you better tell me?
I wanted Mark, Mr. Egan. I loved him terribly. I was lonely. There's no one else. I wanted Mark, but he wouldn't leave my mother for me. He laughed at me. Called me a child. A baby. I just wanted him to love me. The way he loved my mother. But all he did was laugh at me. not laughing anymore. I made sure of that.
Nobody's laughing.